Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the show. How are you this Friday? Lots to talk about. This is HAL Sparks Mornings, Mega Worldwide. And yes, I am wearing a... All right, I'll just do it in the chat room. I want to know if anybody knows the shirt I'm wearing. This is in... I found this in a box of shirts that I had that's been around for a while. And it relates to a picture I showed the other day that was going around in one of those, what movie is this? Wrong answers only. My mic is low. My mic is low. The mic is pretty high. The mic is hot. It's very hot. This is as loud as my mic needs to get anytime soon. I'm into the red in this situation. The mic is blocking. Oh, oh yes, sorry. Yes, it's a blue whale with yellow lipstick. You're not wrong. You're not that far off, I gotta say. I know somebody's gonna get it. I know somebody is gonna get it. That's the somebody. It looks very familiar. Chippendale. Well, you're in the right ballpark production-wise. Southwest Airlines. All right. It's not a product. It's from a movie, a limited release movie. That's what I always say. What's the most limited kind of release movie you can possibly have? I'm gonna see. Hold on, Animaniacs. No, not quite. Magic Mike, right? I don't normally wear white T-shirts. I just got this because of I've had this for a while, and I'll show you some images. Lab rats. Nope, not quite. I know I'm going to get in, this. Honestly, okay. 3, 2. Somebody keeps saying Chip and Dale. I don't know why that is. From the movie Brokeback Mountain. You're closer. What year? Well, that's a good year. 86. I think it was 86. The movie has, and it's from a movie. Limited release, has Angelica Houston in it. Point Break. That's not a bad one. I could cut the sleeves off of it and the collar and that Star Wars almost. Lakaja Rosenthals. Hold on. 3, 2, 1. Hold on, let me. They were selling at Disneyland years ago. There you go. Yeah, Zach got in there and he got it right before I announced. I will give you credit for that, Zach. That's right. No way, right? You're right. Captain EO. I've had this shirt forever. Right? Buck Rogers. I wish. I have to say that it was pretty I had to get it out the other day, right? Because I'd had it I got it ages ago, obviously. When I was much smaller, and it had been in one of my deep sixed T-shirt boxes. Hold on. When someone said, I have to say, somebody said Buck Rogers, and I was like, I kind of gotta, hold on, let me turn the audio off on this in case I lose some stuff. This is a video that somebody posted, which is, I would say arguably, you know how like some guys, the pivotal poster they had was Farrah Fawcett, which I definitely had, and it was very upsetting to my grandmother when she saw that it was inside my bedroom door, the idea that I was looking at this thing with the door shut. But little did she know that the really pivotal one was Aaron Gray from Buck Rogers. Sorry, but yeah, I mean, one of my biggest crushes when I was a kid, and these outfits, these zippered bodysuit things, get out of town. I think they even wore them in Cannonball Run 2 in or I don't know, was it the first one? In Cannonball Run, the two hot women, Tanya Roberts and I forget the other woman's name, who are in the Lamborghini, they basically wear these outfits, these zipper outfits, when they're driving. And I was like, what the hell? What the hell? I remember watching the movie going, I can't, this is embarrassing. I should have worn some sort of a chastity belt or a cod piece with duct tape. This is embarrassing. Cannot go out in public. Oh, and then the military outfit, it was even more brutal. Oh, and this is where she was pretending to be the seductress or whatever. So she's expecting someone else, and she beats him up and she escapes and get off that guy. What are you doing? Leave him alone. Oh, hi. Excuse me, did you find some clothes? Karate. Tough as nails. Sexy as all get out. Erin Gray, I met her at a car show when I was, I don't know, how old was I? Like 11? Like one of those auto shows where you can get people's autographs. Yeah. That was difficult. Yeah. I mean, come on. Anyway, so that literally all triggered by a Captain EO shirt that I found that starts that conversation. P.S. Let me see if I can bring up, where is this? There's a few things I'm going to bring up before I put in our trends for this morning. And hi, everybody. This is HAL Sparks Mornings Mega Worldwide. We're a lot more relaxed or whatever. Also, speaking of relaxed, I would like to give it up for King's X that performed in New York last night. Ty's been dealing with some health stuff, and they had to cancel their European tour because of it. But they're still doing their American dates. And if you haven't seen them, you need to. But it's great to see Ty out playing, and there's Doug, and just that's a beautiful thing. Jerry's back here somewhere. He would be behind me in this picture. Beautiful thing though. That's great. All right, trends is the DC Super Pets. Oh God, I look. The DCCU is having a really hard time. I gotta say. It's not going well. And I mean, this is cute and everything, but I mean, this is what happens when the entirety of your superhero setup is making Superman a jealous, psychotic prick, and Batman schizophrenic in theory, and the Joker your main character. You want to know where the mistake was? That's where the mistake was. Also, the line, "Gods aren't brave, women are," "Gods aren't brave, men are brave," undercuts Wonder Woman like crazy because she's technically a god. So, removes all the bravery and makes Chris Pine's character the hero of Wonder Woman, as you do. All right, so obviously a lot of news this morning out of Kentucky, my home state originally. A lot of flooding in Knott County. It's like 15 dead, maybe more, including 2 children. This is pretty rough. This area, by the way, goes overwhelmingly to Mitch McConnell every time. Meanwhile, Bashir is, coordinating air rescues, hundreds of boat rescues Thursday. So far, 294 people have been rescued. 337 are in shelters. The situation is ongoing. This is the Democratic governor of the state. Now, what do we think? There had to be a statement by Mitch McConnell on the flooding this morning, right? Let's see, shall we? Mitch McConnell on Kentucky floods. Okay, here you go. Watch. Mitch McConnell makes remarks about flooding in eastern Kentucky. All right, let's see what he has to say. Oh, I don't need an ad.
A HELOC is a line of credit that lets you borrow against the available...
That sounds like nuts.
This afternoon, my staff and I are continuing to monitor widespread flooding across southeastern Kentucky. Heavy rainfall last weekend damaged homes, businesses, and infrastructure in those counties. Our governor declared a state of emergency and mobilized a full-scale response for the areas in need. I'm particularly grateful to the first responders who've already rescued and evacuated many Kentuckians from harm's way. Their professionalism and courage have helped keep this situation from becoming even worse.
It's like
many roads remain closed.
Hold on. There's been 8. He knows at this point there's at least 8 dead, including 2 children. The number's gone up to 15.
Closed, and hundreds of residents are still without running water. Worse still, more rain is in the forecast in the coming days. The crisis, unfortunately, is not over. My office stands ready to work with local, state, and federal officials to help families and communities however we can.
Which is not at all.
Kentuckians endure the remaining flooding and begin the recovery process.
It's not even done. They're still finding bodies. Begin the recovery process. Infrastructure and buildings, businesses were destroyed. Also, I think there's a couple of dead kids, but nobody, I don't know if my staff. Philip, I would love to, but it would he goes, I'll ask you again to run for senator for Kentucky. It would entail me moving back to Kentucky. While I enjoy the people there, I got shit to do elsewhere. I got out for a reason. This isn't even legislation. This is just him making a statement on the floor. This is just entering that he said something into the congressional record. Meanwhile, Governor Bashir, Democratic governor of the state, to all families who know you've already sustained a loss, we're going to grieve with you. We're going to support you. We're going to be here for you, not just today, but tomorrow and in the weeks and years to come. President Biden issued a major disaster declaration in the state and ordered federal aid to be sent to areas affected by severe storms, flooding, landslides, and mudslides, according to a news release from the White House. Bashir and the state made around 50 air rescues and hundreds of boat rescues Thursday. So far, 294 people have been rescued. 337 are in shelters. We saw that part. We've got volunteers coming to help. Jerry Stacy, the emergency management director of Perry County, told MSNBC that's going to be our focus. And we know we do still have people missing, and we're doing everything we can in our power to find them. It's not clear how many people were still unaccounted for on Friday morning. The state on Thursday ordered the evacuation of the Panbo Lake area in eastern Kentucky, where officials worried the dam would breach. We've already gone door to door and around to try and evacuate as many people who are willing to go. That's one of the problems that you have with that area. By the way, this is a huge voting block for Mitch McConnell. This area, not big on Bashir, certainly not big on Biden. Voted for Mitch McConnell, always does. Voted for Rand Paul. Who are willing to go. If you're still there, why don't you go find a friend, a relative, somebody to stay with, go to a hotel, just get somewhere safe. We don't want to lose any more people than we have to. More than 23,000 people in the state are without power, and many counties are without water. The state had 2 to 3 inches of rainfall Thursday night and may get the same over the weekend. I mean, it's been crazy here in Vegas. We did, let's see, if I'll do a search for Vegas rain. This was last night. We had thunderstorms. We had lightning. We had, bet nobody had money on a television breaching and water pouring out. If only they had been betting on like boat races or whitewater rafting, but the water just came straight through onto the floor of one of the betting floors. Yeah, oh, and this was good. This is the reenactment of what my room looked like the other day when water came through onto my studio. Splurgle. And then watch this. They're all like laughing, and then check this out. A piece of the ceiling falls. Yeah, not good. Definitely not prepared for this kind of weather. I mean, we have it. There's a monsoon season. This is the, in the last 3 years, we have not had as big a monsoon season. This isn't that uncommon. This guy's turtle is hilarious. Hello. He decided to come out and was like, wait a minute, it's damp out. So he walked past his camera and decided to enjoy the rain in the backyard. Yeah, here's an intersection in Las Vegas. Look at the water. Because, I mean, the water, we don't normally have, it's not like they have storm drains here, for Christ's sake. They didn't bother to build them because why would you? No, this is Las Vegas. Check this street out. It doesn't always rain in Las Vegas, but when it does, yeah, we have runoffs because of this stuff that are specific to getting temporary rain out of here because we have the monsoon seasons. Yeah, it was huge thunder, very loud. The rain was, I think we had a couple minutes of hail. Look at this dude. That's hilarious. He's just being a dick. He's like, dude, go sit over there and I'll get you on Insta. Right? Yeah. Yeah, there's more of that stuff. There's the lightning. And then there might be some of the hail. Let's see if it shows in here. Yeah, that's what, see the waves? It was super windy too. Yeah, fill the reservoirs, exactly. I wonder what the level on Lake Mead is like. And it's still overcast today. It's humid today. Partly because the ground is so hot, it's going to be 100 degrees today, that the ground is so hot that when the water comes down, it just kind of evaporates right away. Obviously, this is caused by all the gay marriages going on in Elvis chapels. There we go. Hold on. And I want to, yeah. Oh, and lightning struck the Fremont ceiling and knocked power out to a couple of the building, like the fixtures, because they run on different stuff. They run on different transformers because they're so ginormous. There you go. That's the Link in Las Vegas. That's the parking garage in Link. Yeah. They just getting everybody away from the electronics. Like, Dad, I know it's funny, but don't sit there and get electrocuted, dum-dum. That's the other thing, too, is people have a tendency here because they think the water can't possibly be that deep, that they drive into these underpasses where the water collects. And we have to put up signs on the, beside the road that say, if you've got, if you see water and it looks too deep, drive around, don't try it. You're not going to make it. And then, yeah, here you go. Finally got some rain. There's people walking. It's super crowded here right now. There's a lot of vacationers, a lot of tourists. There you go. Look at that stuff. And the Lord tapped Sodom and Gomorrah on the shoulder and said, I like the cut of your jib. Keep at it. And then, let's see. Yeah, there we go. It was hailing for 5 minutes as well. Yep. Yeah. And then over at Hoover Dam, there were breaches of just water, too much water going over the dammed up area around the sides. There you go. That's the link, parking garage. Some sort of Disney film where, mice are floating along on a capsized bucket. That everybody got footage of that one. That's been circulating a bunch. The fountain's still going. Take that, Lord. Like, return fire. Don't fire until you see the whites of their clouds. Yeah, and the lightning was super loud. I wonder if they had the timing. Mm-hmm. It's almost like I feel like sleeping now. It's like a white noise tape. Las Vegas Strip. There you go. Casinos. Flood. Cities in more temperate climates have storms like this every week. For Las Vegas, however, a little rainstorm made for a major problem. I mean, it's kind of true, but like it does happen. It usually happens every year. The last couple of years, it didn't do it. What's she doing? So it rained yesterday, and you never see rain. So they're all standing out in the rain. Oh, they're just enjoying the rain. Okay, I thought they'd found a rainbow. Getting a lot of Vegas received so much needed rain over the past few days. Folks might enjoy this video I took of cloud formations approaching the valley a few days ago. I was flying into Vegas from Reno, and I was fortunate enough to have a window seat. Yep, that's the stuff coming in. Those are pregnant clouds. And then everybody gets their picture taken at the Las Vegas sign at the beginning of the strip. And they're like, what the hell? Especially when the hail started. Hold on, let's see if I could find the hail part of it. Yeah, there you go. You can see it. Dink, dink, dink. Hail coming down in the middle of summer in Vegas during this electrical storm. Big chunks. Listen. Yeah. So last night I heard rain and I was like, my mom was even like, that didn't sound, she thought rain was getting into the house. So did Summer. Summer thought rain was getting into the house. And I was like, that's hail hitting the solar panels. Mm-hmm. Welcome to the world of shifting weather patterns. But again, this is not it's not that normal. Yeah, the solar panels are okay. It was the wind that I worried about with the solar panels, but they're latched down pretty solid. They know we have these. So, yeah, there you go. Some people filming the hail. So what you're telling me is you're not going into the hot tub right now. That's it. Anyways, pretty striking, no pun intended. Oh yeah, there it is. That's the hail. Looks like salt. Lake Mead. Yeah, Lake Mead had a good night. I've seen hail here before. That's not that bizarre. What is this? Las Vegas, July 1923, reported on July 23rd storm that hit last night in Vegas. Oh, sorry. Las Vegas age of July 28, 23, reported on the July 23rd storm that hit Las Vegas. There were some injuries and numerous close calls as buildings collapsed after the devastating rain, wind, hail, and lightning. Dr. Brock injured by falling wall. Ball's grocery collapsed. R&R shops and roundhouse. Lads Resort suffers. Oasis Wall Falls. Freak storm, worst ever known in Vegas, confined a small area. Many shade trees down and cellars flooded. Rainfall registered 2 inches. A torrential downpour, accompanied by hail, wind, and lightning, caused considerable excitement and resulted in more or less damage in property Monday afternoon between 4 and 5 o'clock. During the storm, lasting about an hour, the rain gauge of the local weather station registered 1.98 inches of precipitation. We had 2 inches, approximately about the same amount last night. But as much as the downpour was driven by high wind, it is probable that the actual rainfall was 50% greater than the gauge registered it. The wind kept blowing the water out of Gerald's tube. The storm was quite local and centered in the city. 6 or 7 miles out on the St. Thomas Road, there was practically no rain. East and south of town, the storm was confined to the radius of a few miles. West, I feel like I should, hold on. You got to make this more authentic. Okay. Couple of Post-it notes. Storm was quite local and centered in the city. 6 or 7 miles out on St. Thomas Road, there was practically no rain. East and south of town, the storm was confined to the radius of a few miles. West, the downpour did not extend past 2. The storm first came out of the south, then veered to the west and north as it come, and at times the downpour seemed to come from all directions. Some hail came with the final burst of the storm, but the hailstones were not large enough to break windows except in a few cases. The storm was spectacular. Lightning was incessant, and the crash of thunder terrifying. The streets were rushing rivers, and the roar of the wind almost deafening. Most of the people were in their homes or in business blocks, trying to persevere their belongings from wetting by the streams of water, which were driven through every crevice. Only after the storm subsided was it generally known that there had been numerous narrow escapes from death or injury and considerable damage to property. A special providence intervened, seemingly, in several cases. You're goddamn right, I said crevice. It sounds like I'm sitting next to a cozy fire. In every crevice. That's you don't really hear the word crevice in the news anymore. You know what I mean? That's a shame. News people, mainstream media. I'm telling you, you could win major points by just reviving the word crevice in most of your tellings of stories. Donald John Trump participated in a Saudi-run golf tournament named the Live International Violence Golf Tournament, or LIV Golf Tournament. He had sweat in every crevice and blather coming out of his mouth. Recordings and film at 11. Crevice. Now listen here. And this is the drone shot in Kentucky. I mean, these are the eastern Kentucky valleys. And I will tell you, there's a reason why, even though they won't recognize that climate change definitely affects the strength of storms and the moving storm, the moving weather patterns that will affect them, but these folks, one of the reasons why they don't believe in global warming is because weather-wise, it's pretty consistent. Temperature-wise, they have good winters and bad winters, hot summers and mild summers pretty consistently. And they are forever surrounded by trees in every fucking direction. And when you tell people, this is why D.C. is a weird place for this as well, because the entire Virginia countryside and Maryland around it is completely green. So the idea that there aren't enough trees in the world, like they don't even register this if they're not from from like New Mexico or Arizona or some shit. And half the people, the Kerry Lake types tend to want to leave the state anyways and go to D.C. Hell, if you ever get stuck in the past circa 1940, you can make a living as a movie tone newsreel announcer. I hope so, Oliver. I mean, I certainly have the name for it. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm HAL SPARKS, and this is the news. Flooding in Knotts County, Kentucky claims the lives of 15 people, and rescue teams are working hand in glove with the federal government and local authorities to try and save as many people you can. Harrowing stories of helicopters landing on rooftops and picking people up and taking them to safety, while one man remained on his rooftop until water took over the entire property, saying finally when he reached the gates of St. Peter, "Lord, why didn't you save me?" To which the Lord replied, "Asshole, I sent you 2 boats and a helicopter." I'm Hal Sparks, and this is the news. For those of you that don't know, I don't know if you ever heard Napoleon Hill. Napoleon Hill wrote hold on. Let's see if I can find him. So Napoleon Hill wrote what's the big book? Think and Grow Rich, right? And but he a bunch of other books as well. He followed Carnegie around and stuff. But I love this dude just because he is that time period. Here you go. Let me take this. Hold on. Let me bring him in. Here you go.
Positive mental attitude is so very important that I want you to know I'm working from a script because I want this lecture to be letter perfect. A positive mental attitude is a state of mind which the individual must create and maintain by methods of his own choice through the operations of his own willpower based on motives of his own adoption.
This is very true.
In the printed lesson on this subject, many suggestions are offered as to practical methods by which the individual may take possession of his own mind and develop the habit of directing the mind.
Oh, he's very loud.
In a positive mental attitude. There are so many people in this world who can see the hole in the donut, but they cannot see the donut around the hole.
I agree.
One with a positive mental attitude
I'm sorry. Run that by me again, sir.
The donut around the hole. Who can see the hole in the donut, but they cannot see the donut around the hole.
All right. I have never had that problem, but I think this is wonderful. And his positive thinking, I think, is wonderful as a general thing. Again, this is a kind of optimistic stoicism that I particularly agree with. Now, these are all wonderful ideas. Yes, you might see a donut hole as a wonderful use of negative space. I once purchased a box of donut holes from a man on the street and was very disappointed when I got home that they were not indeed the round, delicious pastry that we have come to know as quote-unquote donut holes, but were indeed the hole that was in the donut and did not exist at all. But anyways, if you've ever heard Ross Perot speak, now you know where he got it from. Ross Perot in his age range grew up in this kind of family, this kind of area, and this kind of and aspired to, read Think and Grow Rich. He followed its tenets, and he indeed thought and grew rich over the course of his life. And he, in many ways, spoke in very similar a fashion, stilted and proper in every word that he said. Now I want a donut. Napoleon Homer Hill, that's right. So, and again, these folks around here do not believe in climate change. You're only going to convince them that this water is polluted, and therefore their house is going to be covered in, is going to be full of, coal sludge after this is over because of what's washed into it. These streaks of shit in the water, which is like, gas and grime and all kinds of awful, instead of water and dirt. So here we go. Now, back to where we were. DC Super Pets. Okay. All right. Is it Will Wheaton's birthday? What's happening? Nobody's yes. Will Wheaton, happy birthday, Will. Oh, and Alexandra Paul is also having a birthday as well. We love her. River Phoenix, Kiefer Sutherland, Corey Feldman, Will Wheaton, and Stand By Me. There you go. Oh, it's almost. Yeah, this stripe's interesting. It's an interesting choice. Star Trek Paramount. Season 1 may be over. There's more Strange New Worlds to come. Join Will Wheaton and production designer Jonathan Lee for a first look at the brand new set from Season 2. Very exciting. All right. Wonderful. Happy birthday, Will. That's lovely. Latest updates from the war in Ukraine. Severe fire broke out in Kamyanets, Dniprovsk. I'm gonna like the Dniprovsk. This is the occupied territory in the Zaporizhia region. Ahead of this is another ammo depot getting struck. Military warehouse on fire, and you can always see you can always tell when it's one of the military ones because there's an explosion where it gets hit, and then there's a secondary cook-off explosion from the other stuff. Also, the Russians like basically put a bunch of Ukrainian prisoners in a building and then blew it up. Classy. Ukraine has identified 5,600 children who were forcibly deported to Russia, and authorities are working on returning these children home. The number is expected to rise. Creepy as fuck. And yeah. Oh, and this is Malcolm Nance shared this. I posted what he posted. If you want to look at it, it's fucking brutal. This Russian dude castrates a Russian soldier castrates a Ukrainian prisoner of war. They have found out who that guy is. They know what soldier did it, and and obviously more than likely a bounty has been put on him. Daria Morozova, the human rights ombudsman in the so-called Donetsk People's Republic, which already sounds like an oxymoron, says that 50 POWs from Azov were killed and 71 injured as a result of the Olenivka shelling, but Russian guards were not hit at all, she adds. Yeah, because they knew to clear out because they were the ones who fired. Russian forces captured Ukraine's second biggest power station. It's been shut off for a bit, so not surprising. They're pulling back because they're starting to shell these areas. That's the part of the HIMARS stuff. The stuff that they were having to claim person to person. There you go. Moscow and Kiev on Friday accused each other of bombing a jail holding Ukrainian prisoners of war in Russian-held territory in Ukraine's east. The Russians saying 40 prisoners and 8 prison staff were killed. That's the back and forth about this. And the prison staff, by the way, were also Ukrainians. But all the Russian soldiers managed to leave right before it happened. Sure. Yeah. Works. This is their back and forth about this. Old footage, the Battle of Mariupol, showing a Russian S-2S4 Tulpan mortar and a laser guided round. Something blowing up in the background. This is, by the way, this will be a Jimmy Dore story this afternoon, guaranteed. Fucking guaranteed. And he won't say there's a debate. He'll say it's 100% that the Ukrainians bombed this building full of, I guess, killing their own Nazis now, because the Azov battalion, these are Azov soldiers that were killed. So, I mean, dude steps on his own dick with this narrative all the time. Germany is sending more tanks. You're welcome. Because they now, by the way, the worm has turned, and partly as Germany knows now that they're going to have to end up getting the natural gas that they need from Ukraine in the future, not from Russia per se. So that relationship now has to start building, and it's going to be a 5-year process. Zelensky of Ukraine said he was hopeful that grain exports could begin within the coming days, and the U.S. and European ambassadors called on Russia to heed a deal to get the grain moving. Also, there's a bunch of stories about African countries that had deals for Ukrainian grain that are now going to get their grain from Russia in particular. And even though it's Ukrainian grain, I know, but they're going to buy it from Russia, and that they're canceling their deals with Ukraine for grain in general. The idea that Russia is basically saying that there's not going to be any grain coming out of there next year, meaning that it points to the idea that they're going to nuke big swaths of the land and make it non-arable, because to them it's a buffer zone, not a functioning country. We'll get to the Russian Channel 1 shit in a bit, no doubt. But I mean, let's see. Oh yeah, this basically the Russians. My theory is the Russians bombed that facility with the Ukrainian soldiers in it, the prisoners of war, and blamed it on Ukraine to cover for this story coming out, because the timing is pretty spot on. Yes, Ukrainian oil is cost of stuff is going okay. Deadly shelling of colony in the preoccupied region, where Azov fighters were held among prisoners of war, for which Russians are now trying to blame the armed forces of Ukraine, which was carried out by the Russian military. This is the Ukrainians are saying this. This is their line, and the Russians just hope that they can just say whatever the fuck, and eventually it'll wear it down. Where was that? There was a funny shot earlier too. See if I can find it. This is a video. We saw this one before. This is the missile that they blow up their own. No, this is a different one. This is they were meant to fire. It was one of their missiles. It was supposed to fly up and hit an unarmed, like an aerial drone, and it ends up striking their own base camp over here, because it detects more heat from there than it does from the air. Fucking hell. This is dramatic Russian missile launch fail. This footage was filmed by a Russian soldier. This is one of several failed missile launches in Ukraine. Jesus Christ. There's the flag. I guess there's no debate. There's the rocket. Not quite. Oh, Jesus Christ. Like the running. They're like, yeah, oh, son of a bitch. Yeah, this is the same one. And kapow. All right. And there was this dude. So they're filming. Hold on, pause. This guy is reporting. There's a howitzer right here. I don't need to tell you that there's a reason why the soldiers don't sit here when they pull a wire. They're over here. They're over here. They're not here. Now, what happens is this guy is fine because he's got a helmet and his back is to the thing. So the force kind of just hits him like this and pushes him to his other knee. The other guy, though, is facing him. Watch this. This happened earlier. So watch. Here you go.
Заряжен? Да. 330! 330!
It's not... The dude isn't dead or anything, I don't think. It just probably knocked him out because of the concussion. But it's kind of... I mean...
30!
Watch that dude. Oi. Just a blast wave, so hopefully he didn't get hit. I mean, he didn't get hit by a shell or anything like that. God knows, it basically just knocked him out. Shit. Yeah, the percussion blast. It's exactly right. This has been circulating this morning, so here's another missile launch fail. Oh, this is a naval parade and annex to Crimea. I think that might be a while back. Russian driving fails. Russian missile fails. Boomerang back. Yeah. This is the one that they fired and went back because they forgot to turn off their radar. Also, by the way, they are saying that this was, we talked about this before, but they're saying that this was because they forgot to turn off their radar system. The idea that these guys, because they have such lax security and they don't know what the fuck they're doing and they've given away their position so many times, that they could have some of their shit hacked, even by people on the ground that are with them, you know, who are like, yeah, no, I fixed it. You guys should be good to go. I'll see you Wednesday. And then they fuck off and this happens. Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's up it goes and nope. Oh, that is the end of some fucking people. Christ. When the Russian military fails to get the job done, when they can't fight their way out of a paper bag, they turn to the only force they can. They call in the Wagner Group.
Let's get some wider analysis joined by Samuel Romani, who's Associate Fellow at the Vault.
Yeah, that's one. There's some stuff about the Russian sanctions, too, I'd like to get into this morning. And by the way, hello, you're watching HAL Sparks Mornings Mega Worldwide. We're just going through the morning trends on Twitter, as we do. It's kind of a breakout point for conversation in there as well. Yes, the famed Russian boomerang bomb, very popular in the chat. Hi, chat room. Welcome. Yes, thank you, Dragon X Flyer, reminding everybody, hit that like button. Give us a thumbs up. Or don't. If you hate what I'm doing, please, please, please give a thumbs down. Also, write something in the chat. If you're a troll, please write something in the chat. Nothing bigoted or racist. I know it's hard. Pull it back. You can do it. You can use words that aren't, automatically going to get you booted by the algorithm and the other stuff. You know what I mean? I'm definitely a troll. Yes. Right. If you're a troll, just write, subscribe to HAL Sparks, just so I know you're there. It might work. You don't know. All right. Russia isolated. Take a look at the Russian Foreign Minister Lavrov in Cairo. Shook hands with representatives of 22 Arab countries of the Arab League. Evidence. Zelensky efforts to isolate Russia. Okay, this is them saying, we're not failing. Look at us. We're meeting with all these representatives from the Arab League. The fourth guy in charge. Oh, that guy. And that guy. Remember that guy? How about this guy? You know who Lavrov is. You ever heard of this guy? Nope. You ever heard of this guy? Nope. There's so many of them. Look at me, mate. Hello. You don't know. And Russian missiles starting to fail. 58 seconds clip.
Without seeing anything like this, and now.
Okay, that's about the same one. Now, like Russia tries to put in stuff of their own under like Russia fails to miss, right? How Ukrainian armed forces shelled the Donbass. Directly how Russian propaganda produced. Okay, so this is one of their one of the videos. Oh yeah, I guess not. This is not, I guess you could open it in here. See? Oh, hi, there's me. No, guess not. It's not even going to open that video at all. Right? Yeah, the Russian propaganda epic fail. That's that same guy. Pathud. Jesus Christ. Oi. Russian missile fails. Compilation. We'll see this front one first. Big Russian flag right there in the front. What the shit? Nice job, guys. Oops. That one of them didn't even, wait a minute. Wait. One of them didn't even fire. It just flung out like from a fucking catapult. Watch this. Wait, that one's funny. But watch, there's one right up at the front. It just, did you see that? I'm not the only one that saw that, right? 1, 2, and flop. Oh no, run! Holy shit! Get out of there! Oh my god. Like the ones where they just get like 35 feet in the air and start coming down, get out of here. Russian missile promoted to sea mine. What the hell was that? I don't know. I mean, the funny thing is they definitely have Russian flags on those things. So it's not even a question. They're like, this is their propaganda shots that they're trying to get. Slav memes, there you go, are the best. Oh, yeah. I don't know if you've ever watched Russia's, okay, it's because the insurance in Russia, it's very similar to China in that they really don't have an insurance industry to speak of. And in court, if you're going to get damages, you need footage. So almost everybody who drives with any regularity has a camera on their car. And so there's there's on and on videos of this kind of shit on. Oh, that's a police car. Oh no. Oh no. No. What? Okay. Okay, I'm glad she didn't get run over. If she's running for help, God bless her. Hopefully. Oh, that's her friend coming to get her. Oh no. Like when my mom watches this shit, she flinches so fucking hard. Oh no. Oh, come on. Uh-oh. Sorry. I said go right. Right. Going right, not left. You left again. Look at that guy. Good for you, dude. Oh dear. No. Oh, what? Oh, that was just a side shot. Anybody watch Mindhunter? Ah! She's okay. Good Lord. Uh-oh. No. Oh! Good Lord, those fucking people with that's a stroller! Seriously, that's a story for the rest of your fucking life. We're walking down the street, this fucker, we're like 8 feet away from being crushed by this prick. Vodka induced? Yes. A lot of this is drunk driving. Right, Deanne? Remember the car accident? I think it was episode 4? Yeah, this is drunk driving. There's a lot of this. Look at these other people like trying to run to help, and these people crossing the street are like, get out of the way. Oh boy. Oh, wet, not good. Oh no. Oh dear. Oh boy. Oh, all right. Well, nope. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh no. Oh no. Oh boy. Oh. Oh, by the way, some of you may know that I have a comedy album. I recorded it at the Ice House years ago. Let's see. Hold on one second. Oh, I don't have it up here. Let's see. Tunes. I go to here, and I guess I can't get it on this one. Windows system. Yeah, I got this. Okay. I have a. If you look up like HAL SPARKS comedy album, I was planning on doing kind of a set I've been working on years ago, about 5 years ago, at the Ice House, just doing my regular show with Charlene, and on that day, I had a particularly harrowing trip. I had to deliver some documents in my custody battle over my kid, and I had to have them there by a certain time. And it was such an egregious amount of stuff that I literally had to buy a printer so that I could have two printers printing out paperwork and all kinds of stuff like schedules and finances and all this kind of stuff. And I just basically printed everything. I'm like, here, have it. But I had to have it there by 5 o'clock. And so I finally get it done. I'm driving it there. I have enough time to get it there. I will be fine. According to my GPS, I had I was going to have a good hour. I'd be great. And I come over the hill and traffic has stopped. All of a sudden, something happened ahead. And then somebody did not see that shit had happened and behind me and pulled one of these things. Where like I was sitting basically where this truck would be, right here. Actually, I was on the inside because he went down between two cars. So I would have been right about here, whatever that car is. I was the second one in. And this dude just slammed into the back of us in an SUV. His car, it took the wheels off his car, turned it into a ramp, and just bumped everybody's vehicle up. And it was awful. And I was like, well, I'm fucked. I'm not going to make it where I'm supposed to go because it flattened my tire and it was gnarly. And I managed to get over the side of the road. They had a crew come in. LAPD has like a road clearing thing. The CHIPS guys have a road clearing setup where they just get the road moving again. That's all they care about. And it's amazing. And they roll up, they have a tow truck, and they have and if you can just change your tire or if you need some sort of help, they will fix it immediately. And it's pretty great. I mean, Californians, you should feel good about your tax dollars in terms of how they go to highway stuff, even with the amount of traffic. Because unless we're going to build double-decker roads everywhere, that's just going to happen. It's a lot of fucking people. But this dude hit my car. I have the same vehicle still. It has survived all of these things. Yeah, the courtesy crew. And anyways, that night I had a show. I had to get that stuff there. I still delivered it. I was late, but I still delivered it like 20 minutes late. Because they helped me change my tire and get me to the side of the road because it was like off. I mean, the whole tire was torn off there. And then I drove all the way out to Pasadena, all adrenalized because I just been rear-ended at, some asshole going 70 miles an hour. And then I just did a whole hour on what had happened, and it turned out so good I released it as a record. So it's on there or whatever. But I had that kind of experience and turned it into an album. I thought it was going to be the truck, didn't you? When they first started showing this clip. Oh, no. Oh, no. No. Oh, well done. Okay. Get out of there, dude. They just do not do well in water. Oh! Water. This is 10 minutes, and each one of these clips is like 22 seconds long. No, you don't go into the other lane, stupid. Wait. Slow down. Oh, no. Oh. Christ. No, 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 no. What are you doing? What are you doing? No. Oh boy. Slow down, slow down. No, 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 no. This guy's gonna be bad. Let him do his thing. Okay, 8 minutes later. Same dude. Oh no. Oh boy. Oh gosh. Oh no. Where are you going? Where are you going? What? Oh god, that guy just ran into the dude who stopped because of this dickhead. Oh god. Anyways, there's lots of that. That like you can go look at like Russian driver cams or whatever. T-24 Armada tank fail. Oh, the super tank, right. But it broke down and they had to tow it. Yeah. Oh no. In the parade. Oh dear. Oh no. This is not really, I'm just telling you, bro. It's not really made for asphalt. Give me another tug. Here, Gary, get close, will you? Oh, sorry, I have to, sorry, I have to scroll up. I beg your pardon. Here, let's run that again. So here's the super tank. Broke down. So they brought in the, what we call, not so super tank. And they give it the pull. And they give it the, and we're pulling with the pull. And not so much. It's not good. Well, at least we know it can't be stolen. You know what you need is a Ukrainian tractor. Please tell me they just left it there and everybody walked around. What do you do? What the fuck are you doing? What are you doing? Hey man, what are you doing? What the fuck is this? Sorry, that's just, yeah. Anyway, so there was a bunch of the Russian fails. Oh, look, it's funny that to me that it said Russian fails, and look who shows up, but Glenn Greenwald. I would consider him a Russian fail. Oh, no. Frazzled hair. Difficulty reading. Mass confusion. Ugh. Senator Marsha Blackburn, Manchin and Schumer's reconciliation bill will turbocharge inflation. You mean the Inflation Reduction Act? John Stewart, ain't this a bitch?
So ain't this a bitch? Yeah. Ain't this a bitch? Yep. America's heroes who fought in our wars outside sweating their asses off with oxygen, battling all kinds of ailments, while these motherfuckers sit in the air conditioning, walled off from any of it. They don't have to hear it. They don't have to see it.
Oh, they have to see it.
They don't have to understand that these are human beings. Do you get it yet? Do we see that these aren't heroes? These are men and women, mothers and fathers, sisters and brothers that we just let stand outside in the heat when they can't breathe. I'm going to read you something. This is beautiful. I'm going to read you something beautiful. You know what? I said a curse word and I'm sorry about that. That was my fault. Let me say something beautiful. This is a tweet from Senator Rick Scott of Florida from yesterday. It's beautiful. And I'm sorry about the cursing, and let me say something beautiful to make it up to you. I was honored to join the USO today and make care packages for our brave military members in gratitude of their sacrifice and service to our nation. And there's a beautiful picture. I wish you could see it. He's standing with a little package. Did you get the package? I think it has M&Ms in it and some cookies and some moist towelettes. I don't even know, honestly, I don't even know what to say. I've been coming down here 10, 15 years. I'm used to the hypocrisy. Christina Keene will tell you from VFW. She sat in an office with Mitch McConnell and a war veteran from Kentucky, and he looked that man in the eyes and he said, we'll get it done.
Yeah, exactly. They did get it done. He talked to his every Republican in the Senate and said, well, I'll vote no. We'll show them. I mean, I love John. I'm so glad he's doing this. But we're shocked at all. I mean, he's going to be on Fox today, which is good. He was on Newsmax, which I...
So the Republicans, when you say what you said, they do not support veterans. The Republicans push back saying there is unrelated spending within this.
It's not. It's just not true. What they're saying is they don't like that it's mandatory as opposed to discretionary. There isn't unrelated spending to it. They're saying there could be if there wasn't oversight, but that's what the Senate's job is. The bill itself is incredibly detailed and prescriptive about what it's for. It's about treating and preventing the different conditions that veterans are coming home with, including cancers and chronic bronchiolitis and all these other issues from their exposures in Iraq and Afghanistan. And to push back on what they're saying, what if this creates a slush fund, right? So are you familiar with something called the OCO, the Overseas Contingency Operations Fund?
Fairly, yes.
So
that's a no.
Year, $50 billion, $60 billion, $70 billion is added to what's called the OCO on top of the $600 billion, $700 billion, $800 billion that goes to the Defense Department. That OCO fund is actually a slush fund, $60 to $70 billion every year, no oversight, no guardrails. And every one of those Republicans that voted against health care for veterans voted for the slush fund for the war. They don't support the troops. They support the war machine. And that's got to stop. The value in the U.S. military isn't in the toys.
Look at this. First of all, I love John again, but look at what Newsmax is putting. A picture of a dude kissing a fucking gravestone next to while he's talking about this. Like they give a fuck.
Not in the hardware. It's not in the tanks. It's in the men and women. And until they start supporting them in the manner that they purport to online, they are hypocrites.
It is
part of what we do here to guarantee that more of those people get reelected. Every fucking one of them. Yep. What does Marshall Blackburn do when American veterans desperately need medical treatment for illnesses incurred because of service? He votes against it. Right. Also, the slush fund that John's talking about, the OCO, it's a 10% or discretionary fund. The reason it's discretionary is because you can tell from a strategic standpoint where the government spends its money on. If you're pushing back against it, you can use intel to figure out, well, they're spending it on this, so we're going to have to prepare for this. They're spending it on that, so we have to prepare for that. It's also one of the reasons why nobody buys a fucking $500 hammer or a $1,000 toilet seat. They cover expenses in the budget that they don't want people to know about by saying it costs that much. The government, that is not an example of government overspending. That is a government hiding what it's doing from whoever they're fighting against, because you can determine the readiness capability of a force or its plans for the future by what it buys. And instead of doing that after a while, because people were starting to notice the $500 hammers and the $1,000, toilet seat bullshit, they decided to move it strictly to a discretionary fund to stop pretending. And just go, this is just, we're not going to tell you because if we tell you, they know. If you know, they know. So we're just shut the fuck up about this part. That's how it has to work. If you're truly in a battlefield situation, it's just going to, what you know, the enemy knows. So of course, that's why you want people you can trust in the actual Congress doing oversight. That's why you want Democrats who actually give a shit in there versus Republicans who would sign off on anything as long as it blows up somebody they don't like. It matters.
Is opioid abuse a very big deal in? Is it a big deal in Tennessee? As senator, $700,000 from opioid companies. Do you think that's a problem for your election? Do you think it's a problem for people in Tennessee? Look, how many people are dying every year in Tennessee from opioids? Do you even know? Do you care?
Yeah, she's not even going to yell fake news at him?
Is it on your radar, or is the $700,000 you've taken from opioid manufacturers on your radar? Which do you care more about, the $700,000 or the?
At least, was it Ron Johnson or somebody has the guts to pretend to be on their phone even when it's shut off?
Thousands of people dying.
She's just straight up ignoring him. Remember when AOC caught all that shit where they're like, refuses to answer. AOC refuses to answer because she's literally in the middle of an interview with someone else in Spanish and someone's yelling something like 4 people deep at AOC while she's engaged in another interview. Why won't you do that? Why won't you? And all the stories about it. We saw this dozens of times. The story was AOC refuses to answer while she's literally actively engaged in speaking to someone else and giving a Spanish language interview. Meanwhile, Marsha Blackburn's saying fuck all to the one person asking her questions as she walks through the lobby of a nice hotel.
Opioid abuse. You're just going to ignore this question?
Yeah, she is.
Thanks for your time.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you, guys. Sark with American Bridge. I wanted to talk about the 700.
Uh-oh, American Bridge. That sounds bad. Yep. Yeah. Yep, there they go. These are the... This is the fist bump everyone needs to be talking about. Ted Cruz and fellow Republicans celebrating after blocking a bill to help toxin-exposed veterans survive. Yeah, they literally voted down the PACT Act. That's what they're celebrating right there. Fucking douchebags. Ugh, so gross. By the way, you're watching Hal Sparks Mornings Mega Worldwide. We basically go through what's trending. And unfortunately for Marsha Blackburn, she's trending this morning, as is John Cornyn, who I believe is also that's Kennedy. Let's see. Interview where he's blasting big spending Republicans for passing the chips and gun control. These were Cornyn's babies. Stop the spending. Others on Fox. We put together a bill. These type of things are just bad for the economy. The bottom line, the economy sucks worldwide, but of course that's Biden's fault. On this day in 58, Eisenhower signed the National Aeronautics Space. Yeah, it created NASA. Okay, yes, which you would have shut down. So shut the fuck up. Yeah, there they go. These are the ones. There they are. Not a... You want to notice what I don't see in here? Any D's. You see a single fucking D in there? You know, both parties are 2 legs in the same pair of pants. Ugh. And yeah, seeing John on CNN is not that strange, but the fact that he went and did Fox, good for him. Yes. This betrayal is an absolute declaration of political warfare. Fuck off. They tricked us into voting for the CHIPS Act. Really? You had to be tricked to vote for the CHIPS Act? The fuck is this? We need to move all our factories back home. Horse shit. The D's are the R's. Horse shit. Garbage. Silliness. Absurdity. The height of privilege to even compare the two. During a gun, here you go.
Erode. But one thing I am unwilling to do is to erode the constitutional rights of law-abiding citizens. Law-abiding citizens are not going to commit these heinous acts. They're not going to commit crimes. They're not going to be suffering from a mental health crisis and lash out and be a danger to themselves or others. And so...
What? Since when? Every single mass shooter, except for maybe 3 or something that had, I mean, if you want to count, effectively gang mass shootings or something like that, where it was between opposing forces for drug turf or something like that. Every mass shooter in the last few years, especially the ones that shoot up schools or theaters or fucking town squares, none of them have a criminal record. They're all law-abiding citizens until the second they aren't. And then seconds later, a bunch of people are fucking dead.
I wonder about the focus on the firearm as an inanimate object. An inanimate object.
It's not the firearm, dummy. It's not firearms in general. It's the fucking capacity and the speed at which you can dole out death. If a cop can make do with a handgun in most situations, and the only time they ever call in somebody with a long gun is when somebody is held up in some sort of building, in a hostage or a standoff situation, then so can you. The idea that you need 60 rounds or some shit to deal with a self-defense situation is fucking garbage. Because in that case, you're usually, quote unquote, defending yourself against cops or the military because you've decided to Jonestown or Waco yourself.
Won't cause harm to anyone.
Until they do. The Highland Park shooter, law-abiding citizen in terms of gun use, legally owned a gun. Until he didn't.
What does matter is the person possessing that firearm. And certainly our focus has been keeping them out of the hands of people with criminal records and people.
No, you haven't. You keep blocking the straw purchase rule. You keep blocking all the shit on ghost guns. Those are the 2 primary areas where people who it's illegal for them to have a gun. That's the 2 primary areas where they get it. Secondary sales from dealers who know what the fuck is going on, and in many cases, manufacturers who know they're dumping guns in areas and selling them cheap because they know the price is going to be jacked up once they get out the door.
People with mental health problems. One of the things I worry about is the focus on the firearm that we've heard so far deflects our attention from other places where
Why? Why would that deflect your fucking attention? I still don't get that part of it. Why can't you do fucking both? You're in a hearing about guns and you're dealing with the issues that most often come up. And in the great umbrella of problem guns in this country, you've got high capacity magazines in people who are not mature enough or trained enough to use them, or who are on the verge of snapping or have suicidal or a homicidal ideation, either due to mental illness, their own lack of character, or medications that they are on and off of and cannot be trusted to take consistently. And oftentimes when they take those medications and then they stop them, wean off of them, or overdo them, they get homicidal and suicidal ideation linked to that. And then all the way over is just the volume of how much trouble they can make when they're in that situation and what kind of guns they can get access to. And if they can only get access to a revolver, that certainly mitigates the damage that that person could do versus 30-round magazines duct taped together and unlimited ammo that they can buy online, hand over fist, and stack until they decide to release their fucking manifesto.
I think we could make a substantial difference. Things like focusing on the criminals that committed 836 homicides last year in Chicago alone.
We do that already, dummy. That's the straw purchase thing in fucking Indiana and other states where they don't have as strict a gun laws, so they just buy shit and drive it. We don't check people at the borders of our states. We're a fucking country. That's why we need uniform laws federally for the safety of the citizens, including people who legally carry, have a concealed carry permit, have done the training. Because there was all right, I'll give you an example. Let's see. Let's see. Let me show you something. Hold on. This guy. This just recently happened. This is a good guy with a gun story. This is a legit good guy with a gun story. Except for the fact that by the time he was able to act, and it was good that he did, 3 people were already dead. Because that guy might be great, but the other guy's the problem. Gunman who killed 3 in Indiana Mall food court, shot dead by bystander. Dude hit this guy from 40 feet away without hitting anybody else. 3 people were fatally shot and 2 were injured Sunday evening on an Indiana mall when a man with a rifle opened fire on a food cart and an armed civilian shot and killed him, police said. The man entered the Greenwood Park Mall with a rifle and several magazines of ammunition and began firing in the food court. An armed civilian killed the man, Eisen said at news conference. In total, 4 people. This is a good guy with a gun. Answers the bad guy with the gun. The problem is the bad guy with the gun had already killed 3 people by the time that dude drew. That guy's got to live with the fact that he had to shoot some dude. That's not his fucking job. Because you don't want to handle this asshole who had several magazines of ammunition. An armed civilian killed a man, Eisen said at a news conference. In total, 4 people were killed and 2 were injured. The 4th was the shooter. 2 were injured, he said. Eisen said there was 1 male and 4 female victims who could not say who had been killed and which had been wounded. Later, he said that 2 people who were injured or in stable condition. One was a 12-year-old girl who suffered a minor wound. I think she was actually wounded in the stampede. She was injured in the stampede. She went home, told her parents. They called us and responded. She was transported to the hospital after checkout. She's expected to be fine. She might have been clipped by it. But the man who killed the shooter was not identified, but they identified him as a 22-year-old man from Bartholomew County. They talked about him later. Let's see, but there's a I'll find the dude's story because it was this guy was let's see if they have the dude's name. They identified the gunman shot. Yeah, so this guy walks in, the story of the shooting was this guy walks into a mall with a big bag, goes into the bathroom, and then walks out and starts shooting people. Shot 5 people, killing 3 of them before a shopper shot and killed him as a 20-year-old local man. That's the 22-year-old guy shot the 20-year-old guy. Jonathan Spearman of Greenwood began firing after leaving a bathroom at Greenwood Park Mall shortly after it closed Sunday evening. They said at a news conference, Spearman continued shooting people until he was shot and killed by 20-year-old Elijah Dicken of Seymour, who was shopping with his girlfriend, said Eisen. Many people would have died last night if not for the responsible armed citizen. Again, this guy shouldn't have to do this. The guy with the rifle, the bad guy with the gun, should not have had access to that level of firepower. Although authorities said Dickens was legally armed, the mall prohibits people from carrying weapons on its property. As of July 1, Indiana law allows anyone 18 or older to carry a handgun in public except for prohibited for reasons such as having a felony conviction, facing a restraining order, or having a dangerous mental illness as determined by the court. Indiana's Republican-dominated legislature retained provisions in the law that allows private property owners to prohibit firearms. The attack Sunday was the latest in a string of mass shootings in the U.S. Eisen said that after Spearman entered the mall, he walked into a bathroom where he spent about an hour before he emerged and opened fire. He said investigators believe Spearman spent that time preparing and possibly assembling a disassembled rifle that he had brought in his backpack. He ended up firing 24 rounds within 2 minutes. Although the police don't know the motive for the attack, Spearman's relatives told investigators he recently received an eviction notice from the apartment where he lived. Greenwood is a suburb of about 60,000 people outside of Indianapolis. So you're just in the mall, you're at the food court, and some fucker mad at the world who can't apparently won't pay his rent, but can afford a rifle like that and stockpiles ammunition. And that guy, by the way, till the second he came out of that bathroom firing, law-abiding gun owner. Uh-huh. Now, Baldwin says she confronted Rubio after he called vote to codify same-sex marriage a stupid waste of time. Uh-huh. Look at this. Cornyn, he's right. Look at this. Tell me again, there's no difference. There's no difference. There's more elected Republicans in the Senate than there are Democrats. And I don't know why I have to keep saying, including Manchin and Sinema, we only have 48 because we have 2 independents that caucus with us. That gives us 50. It's 50-50 split in the Senate. We only have control because we have the vice president to cast the tie-breaking vote on reconciliation stuff. Anything else, protecting the rights of women, the LGBT community, minorities, any of that stuff, we need a lot more. But we have control. Why don't they just shove stuff down that? All right. Fucking hell. Also, they're going to apparently subpoena Ginny Thomas. Jan 6 committee threatens to subpoena Ginny Thomas, which is an attempt to tarnish her husband, Justice Clarence Thomas. No, actually. She only matters on this scale. She would have been subpoenaed a long time ago if it wasn't for him. Arguing over definition is a political loser. Just ask Jimmy Carter, who is one of the most honorable former presidents this country has ever known. Yeah, Cornyn's just gross. But there's no difference. Gamers celebrate the release of Digimon Survive, as they would. Depression, that's trending. Oh, that's fun. Okay. Oh, I see. This is why we're heading to a Great Depression. And you, Jesse Kelly, preparing for that. It's not even where we are. Amidst an inflation crisis and the depths of a recession, Biden boasts of authoring a $600 billion tax hike, repeating a usual lie that most Americans won't be impacted. Economic package, trillion inflation fighting bill. Okay, yeah. They're going to drive us into a depression. And also depression is trending. All right. On sale now. What isn't? Just everything. All right. And then People react to a tweet from political commentator Geraldo Rivera discussing the national average gas price. Gas prices have now fallen 41 days in a row and are plummeting this week in particular. Distortions in the economy and plummeting exchange rate is worrisome. GOP is panicking in a meltdown. Donations to midterm candidates are plummeting. Ooh, that's interesting. What do you don't say? Please get out of here. There we go. Political flair. I mean, I take stories from from sites like this with a huge grain of salt. Oh, you think there's an idea about around maybe it's polls? Okay, so just cancel. This is the kind of thing you see, like it's kind of it's like Coase or one of those sites. Yeah. Funny how cable TV has stopped talking about gas prices, blaming Biden no longer fits their narrative, nor his rising approval numbers and independents shifting to favor Democrats in the midterms. Brett Baer said that January 6 hearings made Donald Trump look horrible. Yesterday, New York Post called Trump unworthy of being president. Trump has officially lost Rupert Murdoch. All he has left is Truth Social, a low-rated app with a plummeting stock. Well, all right. Women, LGBTQ, cops, veterans. Yeah. Yep. New report from the Morning Consult shows big swing of Indies to Democrats was -3 for Dems in May, now +8. It's a new bluer election now. Now, have I said this entire time over the last few months, ladies and gentlemen, that this is exactly what's going to happen? That this whole idea, like this wailing and gnashing of teeth in, April and May was going to come around. Thank you, human F being, for noticing. I have said this so many fucking times. And to the point is, by the way, watch what I said. Watch around Christmas, and this Black Friday is going to be the biggest collapse in fucking prices that we've seen in a long time. That's why you had such a big Prime Day, because they have so much inventory. It's ridiculous. That there's going to be this wobble. Like next year, because of year over year and the reliance on year over year as a way to pound Biden, that the problem with year over year is that it's relative, and therefore next year will look even ridiculously lower than it even is impactful. And they'll start talking about, silent recession and how those numbers don't reflect reality, even though this year apparently they reflected reality. Next year they won't. I have been telling you fucking guys, and this deflationary pressure is going to have an impact on almost every technological aspect of your life, and it's going to grow over the next 3.5 years. Now, there's going to be other factors: food, energy, the collapse of China and Russia are going to have a major impact on buying stuff that's normally, made in China, or the energy costs for Europe and what they pass along the costs, of the stuff that they make to other people. But that'll normalize a lot quicker than people think. The factory relocation of stuff that's happening in China and the investment classes collapsing, the Ray Dalios of the world are going to be eating shit because they keep pouring good money after bad in China. When that comes around, that's going to have an impact on every economy in the world. And it kind of is right now. The recession we're seeing is largely because of the COVID impact on manufacturing, because as the manufacturing center of the world in a lot of ways, COVID had that kind of an impact. And it wasn't just that disease. If it had broken out of India, it would be a totally different thing. But since it came out of China and they've had this zero COVID policy, that has directly affected supply chains and all this other stuff in a way that if it had come from any other country, it wouldn't have done. And it has taught everyone you can't fucking stay there. It's bad enough that they have the Uyghur concentration camps. It's bad enough that they're sterilizing people. It's bad enough that they consider it, if you make $400 a year US annually, you are impoverished. But if you make $401, hey, congratulations, you've beat poverty. It's bad enough that you would have sanctions and issues around that. If you didn't have zero COVID, if you didn't have everybody going, well, fuck this, I can't build a factory there now, because the next time something happens, and it will because they're not protecting against it, and they lie about it when it does happen, we got to get the fuck out of here. So they're all moving. All the factories, Foxconn and all these guys, they are not holding on to they're not going to be the main suppliers. Apple, all these companies are moving their shit elsewhere. They're moving to Indonesia and Thailand and Mexico and the Czech Republic, for fuck's sake. That's going to be expensive. It's going to take time. It's going to take work. That's a multi-year process because it was a multi-year process to get us there. But in terms of, the absolute value of technology over time, the cost stays relatively stable, and what it gives you in exchange is enormous. And the impact on the average consumer and the average American is predictable from that. They're not moving from USA. They move from China. Yes, no, they're moving. They moved away from the USA in the 90s. Then the idea is that they're moving back, or they're moving to a place with cheaper labor than China, but not quite as expensive as the United States. And one of those big ones, especially if you don't want to worry about shipping in the future, is a big problem, is Mexico. Fourth GOP poll is now out. Showing Big Dem generic lead 47-41. And what is TYT and those crowd doing? Fuck the Democrats. They are just trying to beat this within the margin of error instead of good. Let's get up above 55. Let's get up to 60. And then no one will have any excuse anymore. Instead of fighting like that, they're like, oh God, we make all of our money when the other side is a problem. I got news for you. Guys, I look forward to the day when you and I don't have to do this kind of show and I could just do basically an I Love the 90s in the afternoons, or I Love the 80s. And we just enjoy, laughing about that kind of shit. But I'm going to keep doing this until. We in the USA should acknowledge we love Mexico. I agree, 250 KM. Yeah. Hal, can you do Rock and Brews on Wednesday, October 5th? Thanks. Oh, I think so. Did you just text me about that? Because I'm in, okay. There we go. For Yamava? Yeah, I think so. What day of the week is that? Now I got to look. Doing business on the air. It's just not done. Hold on. September, October. It's a Wednesday. Well, I mean, it is Yom Kippur, but I think I can manage since I'm not Jewish. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Lock it in. Hey, look at that. We locked in a date right on the air. October 5th, Yamava. If you're in the LA area, we'll be at the Yamava Casino and Resort out in the Riverside area in Southern California. Very exciting. Yeah, here you go. This is nice. This is going to be... These 4 GOP polls have Dem leads of 3, 4, 5, and 6 points. Winning the Issues May survey had it at 44-45. Look at this shit. Why? Fucking why? Why in May? Why? Because you take shit for granted, Dems. You do. We're out of Afghanistan, half the deficit, half the unemployment rate, 70% vaccination rate, like a real process for doing it. They've even got like the medications, if you get COVID, are now readily available for fucking free. And a system has been put in place so that you can get them. On top of that, infrastructure bill, first gun regs passed it in 30 fucking years. This has all been happening. None of this shit is new. NATO is realigned. We are more in line with our European partners and they with us than we have been since World War II. But in May, I was like, I don't know. Should we? I just feel betrayed by promises that they didn't make and they aren't keeping. You know what I mean? Fuck off. Something significant happened in Washington this week. This is July 20th. The town came to realize we are looking at a competitive, not a wave election. 3 of influential GOP pollsters found Dems with 3, 4, and 5 leads. That's keep the Senate and House territory. Told you, fuckers. If you take this stuff seriously, and by the way, this vote on the PACT Act, that's the men. The women, who are in the independent zone, who waver like there's fucking something to waver about. The Roe v. Wade story, that brought along the women and the men who give a shit. The PACT Act, that's going to bring the men. Hal the Screaming Banshee, Anna challenged you to a debate. Please finish that. Yeah, I'm glad to do it. I have no idea where. And what's she going to argue? I even put this out earlier. What the perfect should be the enemy of the good? That if we don't get everything, nobody gets anything is a great political strategy. That incrementalism is not how you raise children. You just fucking, the minute they're born, you kick them outside until they come back perfect citizens. Get the fuck out of here. I don't even know what she's arguing for, except fuck the system. Meanwhile, again, all they are doing, the entirety of, they have to do a certain amount of Republican bashing over there because that they've got to keep the veneer up. You know what I mean? You got to paint the facade. But the real message and the real method of that network is tamp down voting. Keep the percentage within the narrow margins, because then everybody gets nervous and anxious and fearful and broken and scared, and then you can manipulate them into watching and all that shit. I'm not going to do it. I want you guys to watch because I'm trying to give you information that is true and entertaining at the same time without me trying to manipulate you. Because I'm telling you what I really believe. Not like, oh shit, if people find out they can make a real difference, they'll leave me for someone else. It's the nice thing about having another job. I literally just booked a show while I'm doing this. See what I mean? In our updated 2022 election, we find race shifting 4 to 5 points towards Dems, 2.4 Dem generic lead. Still not enough. Still not enough. Still not enough. The Democrats have earned a 10% lead. And I am not going to criticize the machinations of them at all during this period, except those that try to water this shit down. Because the Democrats, however flawed and human, like the rest of us, they may be at times, and whatever issues that they may have, are not even on the fucking scale of 50 senators who would vote against the PACT Act and who are championing the taking down of Roe v. Wade, the idea that not only gay marriage, but gay relationships, sodomy laws are back on the fucking agenda. No, there is not a parallel. There is not this is not a balancing act between two possibilities. It's absurd. Anti-MAGA majority has awakened. Yeah, you're going to see the interesting thing is that anti-MAGA majority in the Republican Party, the issue that they have is that when you've got Mitch McConnell telling everybody not to vote for the PACT Act because fuck them. And by the way, the PACT Act is going to pass. It's going to pass in a couple of weeks or something because they know they're going to read they're going to see this. And will there be stories about how pressure put on the Republicans by the left made them finally... No. The regular electorate is like, fuck you. Yeah, there you go. 7-point shift, and it's going to keep going higher. This does not include the PACT Act response, the backlash. 70s and 80s show. I agree, Grace. Ooh, boy. And nobody's more angry about this, honestly, than Cenk and Anna. Because it's their business model. You think anybody's gone out to start scraping as the prices go down, they're going to start scraping off their Biden I did that stickers? Or you're just going to leave them up? Republicans confront unexpected online money slowdown. I just gotta enjoy this. It's just, you know what I mean? Just let it wash over you. Just soak it in. In an otherwise favorable political climate. Why? Why would that fucking be? We just came out of COVID. Everybody knows the supply chain issues. Gas prices are up over the fucking world. It's not localized to the United States like OPEC decided to turn on us like they did in the 70s because somebody was putting the screws to them in an attempt to change the outcome of the next presidential election. Why would it be favorable? Because Democrats are and Democratic leaning independents or even Republican Obama voters are suddenly pissed about what? The infrastructure bill? They want us to still be pouring $300 million down a fucking hole in Afghanistan? Why? Why would it be favorable? I'll tell you why. Because our side takes our foot off the gas. That's the only fucking reason. Small dollar donations have dropped for Republicans, making the party more reliant on mega donors to compete. And I got news for you. If any of those fuckers have money in Asia or in Russia or in Deutsche Bank, that's going to dry up too. Online fundraising has slowed across much of the Republican Party in recent months. By the way, vote blue. Go to Act Blue and pick a candidate. And Tim Ryan's a good one to really fuck with Republicans. Fetterman, awesome. Warnock, good people. Kelly, need your help. And online fundraising has slowed across much of the Republican Party in recent months. An unusual pullback of small donors that has set off a mad rush among Republican political operatives to understand why. Well, but it's because you suck and you don't do anything, and you're mean-spirited and awful, and they're starting to recognize that they want those infrastructure jobs. They need those infrastructure jobs. And reverse the sudden decline before it damages the party's chances this fall. Too late. Sorry. I'm translating it into a language they can understand. Small dollar donations typically increase as an election nears. Typically. But just the opposite has happened in recent months across a wide range of Republican entities, including every major party committee and former Donald J. Trump's political operation. Ouch! The total amount donated online fell more than 12% across all federal Republican campaigns and committees in the second quarter compared with the first quarter, according to an analysis of federal records from WinRed. That's their version. The main online Republican debate. More alarming for Republicans. If I may. Can I enjoy reading this even more? Democratic contributions surged at the same time. Surged. Hello, my name is Serge, and how can I help you? Would you like a espresso? I make it myself with a little lemon twist. He said, good, you should try it. No, I sold it to a collector this morning. $130,000. No, it's true. It's a very important piece. Total federal donations on Act Blue, the Democratic counterpart, jumped more than 21%. 21-12. That's right. 21% for Democrats, 12% down for Republicans. We are the priests of the temple of Sphinx. All right. All the gift of life are held within our walls. All right. The overall Democratic fundraising edge online widened by $100 million from the last quarter of 2021 to the most recent 3-month period. Records show exacerbating the fundraising problems for Republicans is that Mr. Trump continues to be the party's dominant fundraiser. Oh, God. Here, I can't. Can I? I'm just going to enjoy this. Let me stretch for this one, if I may. Okay. This is going to be, please, if I may. This, I can't tell you how I enjoy being correct. You guys know this. You guys know I love being right about things. And I have been saying that one of the problems with Trump's whole don't trust elections and give me all your money with his Save America thing, every one of the candidates that this fuckhead goes around and does a rally for, he insists they put his Save America thing on the fucking podium. When you would go out and you would say, elect Carrie, what's her fuck, or any of those, you put their shit on the podium so the president can talk, and then, he would draw attention to that, right? That you're helping them raise money, dummy. And what happens? Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Who built the world in 7 days, which is not much, sister. This is what I've been telling you guys. He's screwing the pooch himself. Mr. Trump continues to be the party's dominant fundraiser, and yet, virtually none of the tens of millions of dollars he has raised has gone toward defeating Democrats. Instead, oh God, this is so good. Instead, the money has funded his political team and his golf courses and retribution agenda against Republicans who have crossed him. Oh boy. So, such a beautiful thing. I have to say, I'm part of the reason why I'm enjoying this is because I've been telling you guys that this level of ego has a very poor ROI. It has a terrible return on investment. This will always go to fund Trump's ego and his bullshit. And I've been telling you that there is the money that he is taking in, I'm like, go, man, everywhere he wants to go. Give your stupid speeches, because every fucking time he does one of these things, they slap that Save America panel and text this to give money to Save America. And even the dumbasses who might think they're supporting the candidates are giving money to this, and none of it's getting to them. Trump's just snorting it all. It's fucking hilarious. Working in the party's favor is that Wall Street billionaires and other industry titans have cut 7- and 8-figure checks to Republican super PACs, offsetting some of the party's small donor struggles, which don't go to the direct campaigns and have to be all super PACs, and then they can't even talk directly or coordinate with the campaign. So even though super PACs can spend a shit ton of money, it's always like, don't let the spending in Washington go to anyone's head. Call this particular candidate and tell them to say no, whereas this candidate might not. They have to be so, they have to waver so much in their language so that they aren't dead on supporting the candidate to stay within the super PAC category, that it doesn't have the same impact. It can't have the same impact as regular campaign ads. Yeah, we talked about Bike Shop Guru. We talked about the Hyundai plant in Alabama that was using child labor. Good old Alabama. It's like very Schindler's List. Their little hands can get inside the shell casings. There's Warnock. There we go. Okay. Anyways, I just think that's so funny. I think that's hilarious and beautiful. Plummeting support for Trump trends with True Social, the GOP tax scam, Herschel Walker, that guy's shoes just went straight out. That's beautiful. Boing, wee. But I gotta say, he stuck the landing, like that, and then look at this. Hold on, let me show you. Look at that. Like he just holds this. Okay, I got something good. And I'm fine. Let me get my slip. Oh, there we go. And the slippers were. I'm just saying that when things are slippery, not the best time to wear shoes referred to as slippers. Also, is his neighborhood made out of Crocs? Is that out of, it's somebody's windshield? That's from inside the garage. That's the garage cam. That's what that is. We're seeing the roof of the garage is open, and he's using the footage to, yeah, there we go. So, Mike Davis is grand into story. Sees an LA that is decaying from the bottom up. Even as found legendary scholar theorist, Mike Davis does not mince words in his conversation with stories of unfinished projects and outlaws he'd known, and he shared his thoughts on death, Bernie Sanders, the unreformability of the LAPD, the anticipated genocide of our future 3 degrees Celsius world, and what he considers his true passions. Okay. His home stuff with books. He reads 500 pages a day, pet reptiles, and a collection of leftist art and artifacts shared with his wife, the artist and professor. Okay. Lovely. Okay. And there we go. Vote Blue 2022. Jan 6 texts missing for Trump's Homeland Security, Wolf and Cuccinelli. Again, why the fuck? Look, Republicans, I know you believe in small government, and I know you believe that, there's wasteful spending in government. You at least believe that they should follow kind of just the base policy and laws, right? Kinda? At all? The fuck is the matter with you? Vote for a Republican next time, but what the fuck is this? How does this pass? How is this okay with you? 64% of Americans don't want Roe v. Wade overturned, according to a PBS NewsHour Marist poll. That's like the percentage again just pointed in the 195. That's that crossover number, that from the 50% number, that 64%. That's basically how many Democrats are in the country. If they all showed up, we wouldn't even be talking about this shit. That's not even, that you get to 72% when you start bringing in over the independents. And also it's an NPR Marist poll. They're regulars. So people who answer again when NPR calls. And that includes people who are regular NPR supporters and people who want to fuck with them by saying no. It'd be fascinating. This would be a big thing too, is that if there's a blue wave that builds and this fucker loses the Florida governor's election, that would be enormous. Then they would start talking about maybe DeSantis is a good VP for Trump, and then DeSantis goes, I'm not going to be a VP to that fucker. He's going to lose next time. If DeSantis loses the gubernatorial race in Florida, holy shit. And he very well could. I mean, his margin of winning last time, he's got some national cred, so he's getting some national money, but he's not that much more popular in the state than when he got elected in the first place, and his margin of winning was smaller than the number of people who fucking died. And of course, this time around, they're going to be watching the villages like a hawk, so those people can't vote for him twice. Daily Edge Substack. How Democrats win in November. Ignore the polls, block the trolls. It's time to band together to save democracy. It's time to defeat the thugs and extremists who want to destroy all you hold dear. Good news, LGbtq has a plan. It might work. Yeah, so do I. Vote. Don't fuck around. No protest votes, no dicking around. Vote for the one the Democrat that can get elected in your district for the next 6 cycles. And I guarantee most of what you're shooting for will actually occur. Short of that, it's on you because we have the voters. They just have to show up. Look at this. Vote Blues. Only if you hate this country, get the fuck out. Freedom Fighter 1776. I mean, I believe that's a real account. I am Dave from USA. No one has done more harm to America than Democrats. Well, I mean, if you hate highways, I guess. Fine. Vaginas brought you into this world, and vaginas will vote you out. All right. Well, that's going to be an interesting election process. Who was using this voting machine last? All right. Donald Trump called the Wisconsin election official 2 weeks ago to get them to overturn the election. Right. Yeah. That, like, he's still on this shit. By the way, as the election gets closer and the numbers get worse, watch for Trump to say it's rigged anyways. This is rigged and they're going to rig it and you don't have a chance because it's rigged and we don't really have elections in this country. He's going to bring that language up more and more. And when he does that, ultimately, hold on, I'm going to scale this up so we can see it. It's going to drive more Republican voters away from the polls. Yeah, honestly, he and TYT are in the same business. They're trying to, on each side, they're trying to tamp down voter turnout. Depress voter turnout. That's the whole purpose. The problem is Trump wants it to go down because he needs the Republican Party to think they can't win without him. It might even be the same ideological methodology. Watching this old video of Republicans mocking Biden's agenda is priceless. Thank you, Joe Manchin, for making a deal with Schumer for energy. Okay, here we go. This is the...
We have a bunch of people running around, particularly progressives. All they want to talk about is, well, let the people's will be done. No. We don't want the people's will to be done immediately because you have the passions of the majority that remember, our Constitution was set up to protect who? Minority rights, not the majority rights.
But the reality is they are pushing as far as they can. Fortunately for us, the filibuster is still in effect in the Senate. Without that, we would be... By the way,
that's Andy Biggs.
And this thing would...
That's Andy Biggs. Andy Biggs is one of Trump's election deniers and is also one of the people who they are subpoenaing. He also voted against the PACT Act. He also voted... dude votes against everything.
Then we'd be...
Ukraine aid.
Having a little bit more frantic discussion than we're having today. But thank goodness for Sinema and Joe Manchin.
I like it when AOC is going after Joe Manchin. This is great. This is great for me. It makes my job easier as a conservative because I can go to Joe Manchin or Kirsten Sinema and be like, hey guys, and I'm really sorry you're having to go through that. That's just a shame.
By the way, he's laughing about this. Byron Donalds, the Republican from the 19th District of Florida, is not having conversations in the Senate with fucking anybody, much less Manchin and Sinema.
Nobody should be treated like this. I just really thank you for standing for the country. And all of you in this room, people at home on Zoom, let me tell you right now, if you want to do one thing to keep the Republic afloat, call Joe Manchin's office, call Kirsten Sinema's office, be polite, smile as you talk on the phone. If you talk on the phone with a smile, your voice sounds better. You just be like, hi, I'm here to talk to Senator Joe Manchin and thank him for keeping the filibuster intact. I'm just a Republican voter from state X, doesn't matter. But I just want to say thank you. Because
it kind of does matter because they're senators. They represent a state.
So what's happening up here is the fact that they've decided not to blow open the filibuster.
Because, and by the way, when was this video? This was back in May when it was 44-45, and the predictions for the Senate and it was 47 Democrats, and we were going to lose 2 seats ultimately, and maybe gain one. One was floaty, so it was going to be 47-51 Republican. And so the idea is that, you know, giving away the filibuster when there's no sign that regular Democratic voters and left-leaning independents were going to actually show the fuck up this fall, then you don't want to blow up the filibuster. You blow up the filibuster. You don't want to know how you blow up the filibuster? I'm going to give you a secret. Let me tell you how you get rid of the filibuster. You vote in 62 members of your own party. You vote in 62 people who agree with you, because you can lose 2 of them and still beat a filibuster. That's how you do it. You don't get rid of the rules because you're fucking failing at it. You overwhelm, especially when your ideas are the ones that are winning in the public sphere.
In a lot of respects, is going to save the republic from the worst things that the left wants to do. And HR 1 is the tip of the iceberg.
So we just got to hold the line right now. Keeping the filibuster is a big part of that, and all the other elements that I know y'all are discussing this week.
It's a lot easier to pass giveaways than it is to take them away. Really? And everybody thinks, oh, well, you know, we'll just take them away. No, we won't. No, we won't. So please, if any of you have any thoughts about the idea that a filibuster removal, it was a good deal, and I know the previous president was for it and still is. It's a bad idea. Call Joe Manchin and say thank you. Seriously. Call Kirsten Sinema and say thank you.
Yeah, see, because there's a bunch of those Republicans who are like, we can use it. Once they get rid of the filibuster, then we don't need it anymore. Then everything's a fucking ping pong ball. So, all right, I'm over the 11 o'clock moment. It's been a good morning talking to you guys. It's so much fun. So much fun watching this happen. We'll have more to talk about this afternoon, no doubt. I'm curious to see how the Newsmax crowd and all those guys handle them not doing the For the People Act, the voting rights stuff. Right, they were pushing back against voting rights. Exactly, Celery. But there's no difference between the parties. None. And to quote Cenk Uygur, the Democrats are bastards, I think is what he said. Because they keep trying to pass HR 1, and we don't have enough votes to do it, and it's their fault. So that said, I will see you guys this afternoon. I'm very curious to see how they react to the PACT Act thing, because like you said, Jon Stewart was on Newsmax, and they tried to push back on what he was saying, but I mean, they're stuck in a position where they have to be against the establishment, and yet they need the establishment to get any of their shit done. Warren says, more insults, all you seem to do. I think I'm funny with them, but I also do fuck with people, and I will do more if that helps you, Sven. So I'll try to pack more in. I'm sorry if there's not enough of them in the show for you. And technically speaking, I would like to say for the record, it's they're not insults, it's mockery. Just to clarify. He's going Colonel Kurtz, yeah. Great life. Thank you so much, Nick. I will see you guys this afternoon. It is a lovely Friday. Take care of yourself and take care of somebody else, and pick somebody on Act Blue in one of these crucial races and give them a boost. The other thing too is, call their office like they're suggesting and say, good job, you. That doesn't hurt. Anyways, take care of yourself, take care of somebody else, and I will see you guys this afternoon.
Every day, the Young Turks delivers 2 hours.